It's a carnival atmosphere at Interlagos as Psgl F1 arrives in Brazil for the penultimate round of season 21. And my goodness, what a season we've had so far. But here tonight, we could see a 5th different champion in 5 seasons crowned. As you can see, round 10 of 11 for this season, and we will have our usual 18-minute qualifying session followed by 36 laps of this legendary track where in real life so many times the title has been decided. Who can forget 2008 when Lewis Hamilton sealed the title with that infamous "Is that Glock" moment, and Jenson Button in 2009 among others. And we are going to have a quick look at the track here. 4.3 kilometer circuit here, an anti-clockwise circuit unusually for Formula 1. 15 corners and 2 DRS zones, which will see the majority of the overtaking action, but such is the nature of this narrow track, we could still see some overtaking opportunities in the middle sector as well if any mistakes are made at some of the high speed corners between turns 4 and 6. Now, your compounds today for a dry race, unlike some other races, all 3 compounds will see heavy use in qualifying. And in the race, well, it looks like the one stop may be the favourable strategy. Now, here we have a quick look at the championship standings. As I mentioned earlier, today is the first real opportunity for VSR Blizzard to seal his first Psgl F1 crown with a 17-point advantage to VSR Lewis, who isn't here today. So the only driver who realistically can deny him with 2 rounds to go is Game of the Best, 22 points back. If Game of the Best wins the race, Blizzard will only require a 3rd place to take the championship due to his win record and on points. So CCBRAIN in 4th, Big C in 5th. His title challenge looked so promising at the beginning of the season, but it's really faded away in recent times. Michemery in 6th, Littlebox in 7th, Abiodun, Falcon and MaxiLuca make up top 10. And look at that, 10 different constructors and for the Drivers' Championship. And in the Constructors' Championship, Toro Rosso will also have an opportunity to take the crown tonight. If Ferrari are outscored by 7 points, then Toro Rosso will be crowned the Constructors' Championship. All the teams all the way down to 6th place can still win it, although it's more than likely only Ferrari realistically can stop them. So, quick look at the chat. And I'm just going to join the lobby, so bear with me 1 second and I will be continuing this broadcast. So it's great to see everybody in the lobby as ever, and also in the chat, getting ready for some great F1 action tonight here at Interlagos. What a track it is. We've seen some great races here over the years in league racing and in real life, of course. So let's get rid of that Brazil flag. Beautiful there it is. The home of some great footballers, of course. But it is a heartfelt shout out to Lewis, aka VSR Lewis, the reigning champion, who is missing the race. He's at the hospital getting some stuff sorted out, so I hope it all goes very well for him with that particular procedure. At least I think it's surgery. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lewis. Clearly you're not under the knife right now because you're watching this particular stream. Or is he going to make a sudden appearance in the race? That would be absolutely incredible. But the odds are stacked against Ferrari. Only one driver available, and it looks like Brady has returned for Toro Rosso after several races absent. So that's good to see. So who's in the chat right now then? Let's take a look. Well, we've got as ever the likes of Morris Guy from F7, Jay. We got Lewis Marshall and Lewis Milam. Regular drivers in some of the low divisions. Jack Tyler. And who else have we got here? Well, got Leon, of course, who had that sensational podium in Singapore last week. And then we have Kaluma 1892, who wants Matthew to win. Matthew, aka Blizzard. I think there's a few of his supporters here. Game Freaker, who really bottled the F4 championship this season. No, I'm just joking. Good to see you, Freaker, as always, in here. And we got Kerr, aka AMS, in here. And Chulo, a regular viewer to these particular streams. So, looks like most of the drivers are in the lobby now, so it shouldn't be too long before we start. I hope we don't get too many issues with the lobby like we did last week, where we had to wait an age to get it started, and a few drivers unfortunately missed out. CCBRAIN, an IOR1 race winner yesterday in absolutely brilliant fashion. And he's had a solid season in Psgl F1, I have to say. And then we got Z3Xer, who's cheering on Blizzard. Lars Gamer, who had a strong season in F4 this season. He'll be looking to go to get that championship next season. So let me know in the chat what your predictions are for the pole position and the race victory. That'd be very interesting. And your thoughts on Interlagos in general. As ever, if you want to ask a question, hashtag AskVenom in the chat, and I will do my best to answer it. Well, the first Brazilian race I ever watched was sadly also one of Ayrton Senna's final races in '94. That was my first F1 season, and goodness me, that makes me feel old. And he was really controlling that race, and then he had a mechanical failure which caused him to spin late on, handing the win to Michael Schumacher. And from that point on, Schumacher won the following races, and then of course we know what happened to Senna, sadly. And we get a question from Lewis Milam, the standout performance of the season. Well, I'm going to have to give it, well, to a degree, I think Leon last week getting that podium. You know, he hadn't scored a point all season, didn't let it get to him, and he got that podium in great fashion. Although, you know, Game of the Best was also absolutely brilliant that race as well. So I think individually, that was definitely the standout. But I think overall, Blizzard has been the most consistent driver. So if he takes the title tonight, he will certainly be a well-deserving champion. So the lobby is loading, so that's good. And we're about to start our 18-minute qualifying session around Interlagos. The Autodrama Carlos Pace, I believe it's called, but I haven't got the time to say that every time. So Interlagos rolls off the tongue nicely, I think you'll agree. And I'm just going to make sure we have game sound. I've done that a few times this season. And it looks like we do. So just waiting for the lobby to load up, and it's bright sunshine above Brazil as the calm before the storm. 16 drivers in the lobby tonight, a good turnout late on in the season. Hope everyone's got their Christmas shopping complete, or they're going to do a last minute splash and dash to get their presents in time. At least to get some time to have a few drinks. For those of you over 18, don't want to see any underage drinking from some of you youngsters out there. So it's a dry quali. Now, if it was a Hypersoft track that we've seen, that would give us a clue on the weather, but since the Supersofts are perfectly usable for a 1 or 2 stop strategy, I suspect everybody will be using Supersofts in quali. I'm not sure if anyone will try the alternate strategy. I don't see Cliffy is not here. Oh yeah, Cliffy already left the league a few races ago. I'm so used to calling his name. So let's have a look at it. So in terms of recent races here, Big C, a 4-time winner of this track from the last 10 times we've held the race here. And in the last 4 races, though, no one's really dominated. Season 16 won by Iran F1. Season 17 by Shortbread. Season 19 by Cliffy. And the last time we were here was last season in Season 20. And Ash Best picked up a memorable victory here in what was only the 2nd round of that particular season. And he was defending his championship then, but unfortunately it didn't work out for him late on. So we've got both McLarens, both Toro Rossos, both Renaults, both Haas's, both Williams, 1 Ferrari, 1 Sauber, both Force Indias, and both Mercedes. So it's a good mix of cars out there. So did Ash Best get out there first? He usually does. I don't know how he does it. If he was as quick at getting out the pit lane as he was quick in the races, well, he would be winning the championship by a long way. But as it is, he's going to be the first driver to do a lap of Interlagos. So let's ride on board with Ash Best. I'm going to keep the time off so we get a nice view of it. Through the center S as we go. And then trying to keep as tight lines as possible. Very easy to... Oh, when he ran wide there, I think he may have invalidated that. Then heading up towards the end of Sector 1 and Turn 4. Very narrow corner, that one. We'll see a lot of too-wide action there. And then going through the Subada do Lago, heading towards Magulo, which is another corner here. I love this corner here. You sort of go off throttle and just let the engine brake and carry you around the corner. A very satisfying corner there. And then through the slowest part of the track here. It's only 50% full throttle here at Interlagos, but there are, you know, it's basically half the track is a full throttle, than the rest of it is like this, very low gear corners, all the way down to gear 2 for Ash Best there. And then it's fully flat here, trying not to take too much curb. Oh, snap of oversteer as he goes into Juncal, and then building up the speed for the roller coaster ride of Sector 3. And I absolutely love this. We'll see so much side-by-side action here with the second DRS zone, and it was an invalidation, as I suspected it was. So unlucky for him. Now, where is Blizzard at the moment? Blizzard going through the circuit. It's just an outlap for Blizzard. Cherry2Pie sets a 1:08.30 on the medium, so obviously that's not going to be the fastest time of the session. Anyone else out there at the moment? Let's see. Yes, quite a few drivers out there. What about Big C? Big C for 1:07.299. So that's a decent early banker for Big C. We suspect the pole time will be somewhere in the at least the high 1:06s, maybe even the mid 1:06s. So I think there's plenty of time to come yet from these drivers, as Cherry2Pie also on the medium sets a 1:08.300. So Ashbest back into the pit lane. So let's see, where is Abiodun? Abiodun is behind Blizzard, as is Leon, so a lot of them doing their laps. What about the Brain, who's had great success in other leagues recently? Can he get some more success here in Psgl? He's had some podiums this season. I think it's been probably his best season in Psgl F1 to date. Some really solid performances from the German. Well, it seems like most of the drivers are following Blizzard at the moment as Big C gets out of the way on his cool down lap. So let's see what Blizzard can do. Certainly the favourite to win the championship tonight. With Game of the Best, the only one who can stop him. And he is in the pit lane currently, the Williams driver. Both Williams are actually. Claire Williams opting not to send her cars out on track yet. So let's see what Blizzard can do. And oh, looks like he's invalidated as well. So early problems for the title contender. And Leon has problems of his own. He's doing a bit of rallycross. Must have gone on too much onto the curb at Junkow and spun the car. Very easy to do there. Unbalances the car. And that's what happens. You spin off. So those softs not working very well. And the returning Brady, P5 at the moment on the medium. So they're sort of getting a feel for the track at the moment. So Falcon in fourth on the softs as CCBRAIN goes fourth on the super softs. JackLacey, former Psgl F1 champion, in third, and AMS in P2 at the moment. Now AMS is someone who often goes well at Brazil. The new Psgl FP champion, of course. So he will be having a bit of a guard of honour at Abu Dhabi tomorrow, which you can see on Iran F1 and Hulkenberger being the commentary team over there. And of course, after you've watched this race, head over to JPTV to watch the replay of F2. That should be a great race. I'm not sure of the title situation over there. JackLacey on his in lap now. Let's see, anyone else on a fast lap? What about Lickleblocks? Game of the Best has come out on track. And Lickleblocks sets a 17.0. I'm going to keep an eye on Game of the Best because he has a chance to put Blizzard under a little bit of pressure. And it looks like Blizzard has fitted the mediums in the pits. So maybe that super soft lap wasn't validated. Maybe it was just sort of a scouting lap just to see what's going on with the track. Track does evolve considerably here. Not as much as some other tracks like some of the previous rounds like Singapore. But it certainly does evolve quite a bit. And certainly the pad users will be grateful. Tyre temperature is not really an issue at this track. Super softs, the fronts tend to overheat a little bit towards the end of their life, but it's controllable, much more so on the pad than it was at Singapore. Here comes Lickle then. Crosses the line on the mediums. And it's going very slowly. A lot of use of the mediums. Now I think that is actually a sign that maybe a lot of these drivers are looking to be on the super softs and then do the mediums to the end of the race. So perhaps they're getting some practice on these mediums because they're going to be using them for quite a lot of the race. And that would be a smart decision from those drivers if that is what they are planning to do. Now let's have a look at Game of the Best because he's on a flying lap at the moment. The Williams driver climbing up the hill from Junkow towards the end of the lap. Now what's Game of the Best going to do? He knows realistically he has to win this race and hope something happens to Blizzard. Game of the Best will crawl over the line. So an invalidation for him as well. What about Ash Best? Really slow. So at the moment, Big C's early banker seems to be the best time so far. Leefindlay on the mediums as well. So there's a lot of medium runners out there so far. This isn't quite the way I expected the qualifying session to go. So the top 4 on super softs, then 2 soft runners making up row 3, and then down to 11th on the mediums. a few of them putting the super softs on. So just under 10 minutes of this qualifying session to go, and as Big C goes even quicker for 107.066, so it's a 1-7 flat. Big C laying an early marker down to his rivals there. And I still believe we will go into the 6s here at Interlagos by the end of the session. Let's see, anyone else? No. Blizzard is coming out again. I think Game of the Best is on an out lap. No, sorry, an in lap I should say. Abiodun getting a nice tow from that car ahead if this is a fast lap, so this could be really useful for the Force India driver. Nope, he pits as well. Well, eventually someone might finish a lap here. Sambamkid on a lap on the mediums. And Leon has moved up to P2, so the Renault driver, it's really a real new lease of life for Leon at Renault so far. It's a great podium last week and looking to repeat. I think he could go back-to-back podiums since he could suddenly be in the top 10 of the championship. I mean, how unbelievable would that be? And who would have thought that, you know, Ash Best would be out of the top 10 of the championship at this stage, but, you know, he'll be looking to developing himself for the next season of PSGL F1. I am very sure about that. So let's see, Game of the Best in the pits. And what about Blizzard? What's Blizzard up to? On the mediums again. 8.5 minutes, so he's getting some running time in. So this really doesn't give us much of a clue what the weather's going to be, because surely if it was raining they wouldn't be using, you know, these sort of tyres. They'd be just, you know, getting free runs of super softs in. So it's a very one of the more strategic qualifying sessions we've seen. They're really thinking about, you know, testing out all the compounds to, you know, give themselves a feel of the potential strategies for the race. So that's good to see. It's more of a thinking man's qualifying session, not just about top speed all the time. And a warm welcome to Caplo, who's just joined the chat, and of course Tony Plays, aka Cliffy. Good to see you. And a nice Senna style helmet here on AMS as he climbs the hill on the softs. Is his best time on the softs? No, on the super softs still. So what about Blizzard? Blizzard was on the mediums, of course. It's going very slowly. So 108.297 then, currently in the top 10 on the mediums. I think he'd be quite happy with that. He finished there. But, you know, Blizzard, I think, is warming himself up for super softs, but he's going to put himself under a bit of pressure though, isn't he? Because he's going to have to get back to the pits, put the super softs on. He may only get, realistically, one opportunity super softs. So if he invalidates, he's going to be well down the order. So there's a bit of risk to this sort of scouting of the different tyres. Big C on another outlap. He's really burning through those super softs, isn't he? And he's been certainly the most aggressive qualifier here today so far. And this is certainly a track which will, in the try at least, really favour the experienced wheel users like the 7-time champion. Yellows in Sector 2 and Sector 3. They've cleared straight away, and we get more. So probably Cars is slowing down. CCBRAIN currently up to P3. Possibly, is he building himself up for a lap here? No, he's not. But Big C certainly is. So let's ride on board then with the 7-time champion. Looking to beat a 107.066. Should have enough time to set a lap time and then get back to pits to set another one. Just over 6 minutes of session to go. As Falcon and Liquid Blocks come out on super softs. Game of the Best in the pit lane at the moment on the softs. So here comes Big C then. Through the Subida de Lugo and then Magulo. And up to the following corner here. 15 corners on this 4.3 kilometre circuit. Big C navigating the slowest part of the track here. I do apologise in advance if I butcher some of these corner names. As Big C heads through the Bico de Pato. And then on to Yuncao. I'm pretty sure Yuncao is how you say it. Great corner here. Nice braking zone. Could see some overtakes there, potentially, if one car's going a lot slower. This has looked like a very well-executed lap from Big C. This could be the first time into the 6s. Can the 7-time champion break the 107 barrier? And he doesn't. Actually, nearly 2.5 tenths off his best lap. Abiodun up to P3, getting up ahead of CCBRAIN. So Blizzard in the pit lane on the supers off. He has tended to wait until the very last minute. And yes, Chulo, I do remember the old pit lane here. It had a more natural sort of flow to it, I thought. But I think the old pit lane was long gone by the time Codemaster started making F1 games. I think I vaguely remember it still being on some of the older ones. Was it? It might have been on 2006 maybe. F1 2006 Championship Edition. I can't remember. But it hasn't been part of the track for a while. It's quite a deadly pit lane here actually. You can easily get it wrong and get a 5-second penalty. So don't be surprised to see a few stop-go penalties as a result. I think it's the two-stop strategy doesn't seem to be the strategy to be on at this track. In theory, it is faster, but because of the short track, it's difficult to make up the time because, you know, there's not enough lap time to make it up. Leon still on P2. MaxiLuca currently trying to build himself up for a flying lap. Big C returning. Leon back on. Now, who else is out there? Blizzard waiting. Game of the Best coming out. Both Williams coming out at the same time, and they're on the softs. Game of the Best on the softs. Well, that is an interesting move. A very interesting move from Game of the Best, considering he really needs to win this race. Yep, that's the one, Chulo. Yeah, my memory is a bit hazy of the track layouts. It's been watching F1 so long. So let's watch Game of the Best for a bit then, because some of the Supersoft runners are still in the pit lane, so we'll see them shortly. I just want to see how this compares. If he can get well into the top 10, he could be very well situated for the race. Now, if he invalidates this lap though, he'll be starting at the back of the grid, realistically. So this is all or nothing for Game of the Best here. His teammate is up ahead. Oh, now I wonder, is Sambamkid on a lap as well, or is he going to try and give his teammate some tow up the hill? I don't seem to be close enough to execute that at this point. So this is going to be Game of the Best. His last qualifying lap of this particular session, you would think. He's not going to have time to get back to the pits and get another set of tyres on. So Game of the Best rolling up the hill. What's this going to be for Game of the Best? Surely it has to be in the top 10. Here comes Game of the Best, heads for the line, he crosses the line, and it's P8, just ahead of his teammate, but he's probably going to slip down a bit further than that. So, now interestingly, Blizzard has fitted softs as well, so it seems to be a bit of a kidology here between the two title contenders here. So Blizzard is out on the softs, so he's not going for the super softs. Now I wonder if that's an indication that we could get some late rain in the race. We'll see later on, but clearly those on the super softs will have the track position at the start of the lap, the race rather. So there's clearly not rain at the start of the session, but there could be some later on, so we'll find out. So realistically, Blizzard is not going to be in the fight for the pole, so he's going to look to beat 107.619, the fastest soft time at the moment. Now where's MaxiLuca? MaxiLuca up to P2. Now what about Leon? Leon is 1.3 seconds down, 107.217, so he could be done. So Big C looking very good then at the moment. He's on an outlap. What about Ash Best? Ash Best on the softs, so is Kay Brady. So the Toro Rosso team at the moment not in the best position. We'll go back to Big C shortly because I just want to see what Blizzard is up to. That's the focus. Is this a flying lap or the start of one? No, this is the start of a lap. Just want to see where Big C is. Big C going through the centre S's, so we'll keep an eye on him first. So we'll try and get the battle for both pole position and the best of the rest on the softs. So Blitz has decided to cover off Game of the Best rather than, you know, going aggressive on the super softs. As MaxiLuca ends his session, and he'd be delighted with a front row start. He's had some good races recently, MaxiLuca. As ever, though, penalties costing him a podium at Singapore last week. So here comes Big C. No one's gone into the 106s yet, which I'm quite surprised about. AMS finishes his session in P7 for the time being. So Big C heading for the final sector. He's got a Force India. Will it get out of his way? Or forces him to go wide a bit? What is that Force India doing? That would have spooked Big C a little bit, and that could cost Big C his time. Mixie heads for the line, and it's a 107.17, but I think he could have got more time than that. I think Cherry2Pie didn't make it that easy, but he must have been on a flying lap himself, of course. Only P13. Can anyone beat that? Falcon in P3. Blizzard has 107.388, so he's P6, but P7 because JackLacey's just leapt above him. What about Ash Best? Can Ash Best get up into the top 10 on the soft? So Blizzard has got 3 cars between himself and Game with the Best. Abiodun with a 106.984 takes provisional pole, and I don't think anyone's out there who can beat it. Ash Best goes P14 on the softs. What about CCBRAIN? Is CCBRAIN on the lap? He is. He's coming to the line. Oh, he just keeps one wheel on the track. What's this going to be? And it's, well, it's invalidation. I think he didn't improve. So Abiodun, I believe, has taken his first ever Psgl F1 pole position. Fantastic effort from the Force India driver. Let's go on board with him just to give him a moment of glory here. Absolutely brilliant from Abiodun. Yeah, no one else out there. So it's a very mix-up grid, isn't it? Blizzard, we're so used to seeing him on the front row at the very least. It's been probably the best qualifier this season. And we've got 33 watching this qualifying session. But yeah. I'm not sure Cherry2Pie meant to do it, but it looked like he just sort of stuck his car on the racing line. But he was going so slowly, I can't see he was on a flying lap, to be honest. So Abiodun taking pole position by the narrowest of margins to Big C, less than half a tenth of a second. MaxiLuca in an impressive third place. The 2 Renaults, 4th and 5th. Leon out qualifying Falcon for the first time, I believe. JackLacey in 6th. Blizzard in 7th. CCBRAIN and AMS in 9th. Brady in 10th on his return to Psgl F1. Game with the Best. The only driver who can deny Blizzard in P11. Sambamkid in 12th. Leefindlay in 13th. Ash Best, Lickleblocks and Cherry2Pie making up the grid. As another former Psgl F1 champion joins the chat. Good to see you, Jamie. Hope things are good with you. So we're going to load up the race lobby here. Just to mention, there's a little something extra after this race is over. So stick around for that. Just a very quick thing. Not a podium interview, but you'll see later on. But first of all, we have the business of 36 laps of the Psgl F1 Brazilian Grand Prix. And I am going to take a quick sip of water because this is going to be a long race. And now we are good to go. So, slightly misty, foggy conditions above Interlagos. Now, if the rain comes early, which I get the sense could be the reason why we've seen so many drivers on the soft tyres this evening in that qualifying session, then those on the super softs will be delighted. So we're just waiting for them to pick their relevant strategies, make a few final adjustments to the car, adjust the fuel. So here we are then. Formation lap. Let's have a look then. What tyres is everybody on outside the top 10? Because they would have got a free choice. So Game of the Best, of course, because he finished 11th, he will get a fresh set of soft tyres to use. So that'll be very useful for him, whereas Blizzard will have to use the used softs he used. Of course, the softs will go a while into the race. So the top 6 on super softs, then Blizzard, he's on the only driver in the... Well, actually, both Toro Rosso is qualifying on the softs inside the top 10. So outside the top 10, we have no one on the super softs, which is kind of predictable, really. So Game of the Best on the softs. Then medium runners of Sambamkid, Leefindlay, Ash Best and Lickleblocks on the soft compound, and Cherry2Pie on the medium compound. Lickleblocks in particular, definitely one to watch out for from the back of the grid, because he's had some really good results, not just here but in other leagues, coming from outside the top 10. So he's one to keep an eye out if he can stay out of trouble. He's had 2 podiums this season at Germany and Hungary. He'll be looking to make it a 3rd after really entertaining us with that little 3 overtakes in 1 lap at Singapore before having to retire from the race basically because his car was broken after multiple incidents, some of which not of his own doing. So Abiodun in very unfamiliar situation here, front row, and alongside him the most experienced and successful driver currently Psgl F1, Big C. How will he handle this pressure? This could be an opportunity with Blizzard and Game of the Best sort of doing an alternate strategy. Abiodun, this could be a great opportunity for him to win his first ever Psgl F1 victory if he can get a good start. Now the super soft runners, they'll be going probably to around lap 10 to 12 before they make their first pit stop. Whether that's 2 or 1 stop, I'm not sure, but super softs from lap 10 to mediums is possible. And then the soft runners, they'll be going a little bit longer than that before they pit onto likely the mediums. And the medium runners, though, they could go really deep into the race and then finish on the super soft. So real mix of strategies here as the grid forms up then. Here we are, just waiting for Charlie Whiting. He looks happy with the grid. And we got the 5 red lights. And we are about to go racing here at Interlagos. The crowd rises to its feet. Lights out and away we go. Abiodun spinning up the wheels, and that will give Big C an opportunity to go down the inside. But Abiodun actually going through the gears better and manages to maintain the lead. Anything going on behind as they go through the centre S's for the first time. Blizzard, I think, is alongside JackLacey. And Abiodun, as you see the field, streaming down towards turn 4 for the first time. That's a great shot. Abiodun getting a great run on turn 4. So behind then, let's have a look then. It's MaxiLuca under pressure from CSR Leon. And Game of the Best is already up to 7th position. What a start from the multiple F2 champion. But look at that, JackLacey trying to come back at him alongside into turn 6. So he's back down to 8th, but still, he's gained a ton of places straight away. So absolutely brilliant. And meanwhile, up ahead of him, Blizzard trying to keep in touch with the 2 Renaults ahead to make some positions. And he'll be pleased that JackLacey made the move to get back in front of Game of the Best. And we got yellows in sector 2. I think something might have happened. Has anything happened? No, nothing's happened yet. I think someone might have just gone off slightly. So Blizzard losing a bit of traction there, but that's to be expected. He is on the soft tyres. They will take a lap or 2 to warm up completely. And up ahead then, the 2 Renaults going into combat. Abiodun leads lap 1 ahead of Big C and MaxiLuca. Falcon trying to go around the outside of his teammate. Oh, will they bang wheels? Oh no, that's a really good move from Falcon, and he gets the move done. Oh, he's forced. Oh my goodness, that could have been desync there. And Blizzard is going to try and take both of them in one go. Watch out for Blizzard behind. Oh, a bit of a lag spike there for a second from the Toro Rosso. He's going to dive down the inside of Leon and move up to P5. Slight wheel banging between the two, but otherwise pretty fair. So Blizzard now in P5. So as it stands, Blizzard is your Psgl F1 champion. Game has got to get a move on. Oh, and wait a minute. Whoa, JackLacey aggressively barging into the side of the Renault. Cuts back inside him. But Leon will have the traction and should be able to get the move done. And Abiodun 1.4 seconds ahead of Big C. He's out of DRS already. So JackLacey then trying to get back up. So we're going to go focus our attention on MaxiLuca, because Big C's out of DRS range. It's being activated at the end of this lap, of course. But look at that, MaxiLuca has incredible straight line speed, and he's going to easily power past the McLaren. It's almost like a real life battle here. We'll go straight behind, because JackLacey right behind the Renault of Leon, and Blizzard still can't get past Falcon up ahead. Let's have a look at Blizzard. Can he get a run on him? No, not at the moment. Falcon 1.3 seconds behind Big C. Big C unable to get back at MaxiLuca, but using the toe as Abiodun continues to set this sensational pace out front. So where's JackLacey? JackLacey still stuck behind the Renault of Leon, looking to make a move. This will not, getting in the dirty air like this will not do his super softs any good whatsoever. But to be fair, Leon will have the same problem following Blizzard up ahead. Meanwhile, behind him, Game of the Best ahead of CCBRAIN. Brady started in 10th and he's still 10th. Liquorblocks has gained a couple of places from P15, but only in P13 at the moment. Cherry2Pie is pitted on lap 1, I believe, so he had wing damage clearly. Let's keep an eye on this. Now let's see then. The DRS will open now. Let's get the telemetry on so we can see what is going on. And I will shortly see the winners and losers in terms of positions gained from the start. So here we go. Leon not getting much of a tow. Any moves going on behind? Doesn't look like it. A lot of them cancelling each other out with their own DRS. So Blizzard in a very solid position at the moment. He'll be able to go longer than the Supersol runners. Abiodun setting a good pace at the moment. So by no means are those. And look at that behind. Game of the Best getting attacked by CCBRAIN. Just about holds the Mercedes off. Any sort of contact, any sort of disaster for Game of the Best now will surely seal the victory for the championship for Blizzard for the first time. Meanwhile, up ahead, Blizzard trying to close the gap to Falcon. But it's really important for him, because the Supersofts are still the better tyre at this point, that he gets good traction out of Junkau. Junkau is probably the most important corner on the track. If you get poor traction out of there, you're going to be a sitting duck on that main straight. But Blizzard will have DRS, so Leon will not really be able to attack him for the time being. Let's have a look at Big C. Big C attacking MaxiLuca into turn 1, but doesn't quite get the move done. We'll go straight back to Leon. No movement there. Oh, and Leon gets oversteered. JackLacey picks up a time penalty. Is that going to leave him vulnerable? No, it won't. So let's go straight back to Falcon, who's under pressure, real pressure from the Toro Rosso behind. It's 1.8 second gap between the top two. So let's have a look then at positions gained. Not too much movement. The big winner being Game of the Best, gaining 3 places from the start of the race. Ashbest and Littleblocks gaining 2 respectively. Sambamkid having an awful start, down to 15th he goes. But relatively little movement in the top 10. So Leon, kind of a train forming now behind him. A Falcon, I should say. Top 3 starting to pull away from P4. Now, out of DRS range, this is an opportunity then for Blizzard to move up to P4 as lap 6 of the Brazilian Grand Prix begins. And look at that. Oh, Falcon with a late chop, so that's going to force Blizzard to the outside. I think Blizzard kind of saw that coming. Meanwhile, behind there's another Blizzard trying to move around the outside. Oh, no, he doesn't quite have the traction. Up ahead, Blizzard down the inside of Falcon. They're going to bang wheels. All sorts of action going on. And Blizzard has forced Falcon wide, and the 2 Renaults making contact. Falcon goes late on the brakes. Can he come back at him in the front? Oh, contact! And look at that, Leon forced off the track, and he's going to lose place after place. Oh, and he's now hit the side of JackLacey. That was a ill-advised return to the track. Desperate to get back on. And well, this is more familiar territory for Leon, sadly. He's been overtaken by Kate Brady. He's got wing damage as well. So Leon from a fight for the podium, and now he's been punted at the back by AMS. And he's now dropped to P13. Goodness me. Now AMS, I think, may have got damage from the back of Toro Rosso, and that's good news for the Constructors' Championship battle for Toro Rosso. It looks like he's got damage, so we're going to watch Ashbest then, trying to make a move, and yeah, AMS pits. As does Brady pits as well. So at the moment, Blizzard is doing enough to win the Constructors' Championship at least for Toro Rosso. So Ashbest moving up to 9th. He was outside of the points until a few moments ago. Now he's in the points, and Littleblocks is too. And here, speaking of Littleblocks, here they go. Can Littleblocks go around the outside of Ashbest? Oh, they're going to be very close here. Through turn 4 and 5. Lickle will have the inside for 6. Who's going to be later on going off the throttle? It's going to be Lickle, and Lickle with a superb move. Brady leaves the session in frustration, and that's not going to please his teammate, because if anything happens to Blizzard, then they can't win the Constructors' Championship today. So Littleblocks up to P9. And on the strategies he's on, he could still be in for a really strong result here. So Game of the Best. Let's have a look at Game of the Best. Game of the Best closing right on the back of Falcon. The super soft tyres are certainly starting to go off now. 6 laps already in Game of the Best. It's going to move up to P6. Or P5, I should say. And that means, if Game of the Best can get this move done, that means we could potentially see a battle between the man who is first in the championship at the moment and third, Game of the Best, the 2-time race winner this season at China and last week at Singapore. But can Falcon come back at him? We know he's quite an aggressive driver in terms of defending and attacking. But Game of the Best, the experienced driver that he is, easily covers the inside, although it runs slightly wide. And that will not do his traction much good, but I think he's got the move done. The super softs are only going to get worse from this point on. And speaking of which, Blizzard is now catching the back of Big C. So the battle from P2 has become a 3-way fight. And Game of the Best will probably be hoping that Big C holds Blizzard up a little bit so he can catch up to the back of the Toro Rosso and try and put some pressure on. So although this title may be settled tonight, Game of the Best is going to make absolutely sure Blizzard does not have it his own way. So here comes Blizzard then. This Big C gets a bit of understeer, struggling for traction. Out of Junkau. Blizzard I don't think is quite close enough yet. He's gaining, he's gaining, he's gaining. CCBRAIN has now overtaken Falcon. So it's not been a good lap for Renault, has it? So Blizzard nowhere near close enough to make the move for the time being. 8 laps on those softs. He's had to use quite a lot of them up to make some of these moves. Whether that will have an effect later on. But don't forget, even if Game of the Best ends up winning this race, he only has to finish 3rd to be champion. So if Blizzard finishes on the podium, it doesn't matter what Game of the Best does in terms of winning. So Blizzard now behind 2 Super Soft runners who will be losing time now as the Super Softs begin to wear off. And this is where Game of the Best has got to get on the speed to close in on Blizzard to try and put him under pressure. Because you feel if Blizzard gets past at least these 2, then Game of the Best will lose time trying to catch these 2. Because I don't think these Super Soft runners will be pitting just yet. Probably a few more laps before. At least 10 laps I'd say they have to do to make that one stop work. Which, judging by the strategies we're seeing, I would say is going to be it. What's Big C going to go? Big C covers the inside. He's got DRS, so that's going to help him with the defence. Will Blizzard think about a late lunge to the inside? He doesn't really need to take the risks at the moment because Game of the Best is actually dropping time, if anything. As Falcon gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's not going to help his cause whatsoever. We'll see what tyre he goes on. If it's a 2-stop, it's going to be absolutely nowhere. No, it's a medium compound for Falcon. Game of the Best unable to sort of get on the pace. So at the moment, Blizzard doesn't really have to pass these 2. He's got a 2.6 advantage to Game of the Best. Let's have a look at JackLacey, who was batting, and Ash Best has managed to slip out. So Littleblocks must be forced out wide, and Ash Best with a very smart move, getting ahead of Littleblocks into 8th. So I think that's a battle I'm going to keep an eye on right now, as Littleblocks tags the back of the McLaren. That's going to help his traction, is it? Game of the Best is now closing back up, so maybe he was saving some battery. Littleblocks dives down the inside of Ash Best. So they're going to go side by side. He's head towards Junkau for the 10th time. Let's get a nice camera view there of the 2 heading into the corner. They're going to go side by side. Please give me a decent camera view because I can't see anything. No, Game refuses to. So I guess, yeah, Ash Best still behind him. So they're going to go side by side as we head into turn 1. I'm going to stick on this for a bit longer because I don't think Blizzard was close enough to pass. Well, this could end in tears. Currently in P8 and P9. Leefindlay just behind on the mediums. Oh, and Lickle, massive lock, but he gets the place back. Will Ash Best be able to catch up? Watch out for Leefindlay though. He's right there. We'll have to go back to the front because Big C right behind MaxiLuca, who's really gone off the pace a little bit. The tyres not lasting as well on the Haas driver. But Game of the Best still unable to catch up this train. He's got to try and get to the back of this train. Or maybe he's just conserving tyres. But he has gained quite a bit of time in Sector 2 already. 1.3 is the gap now. With Blizzard, I think he's just biding his time. He knows all he has to do is finish on the podium and he'll win this championship. So he won't even care, I think, if Gamer wins this race, as long as he gets 3rd place. And I think that may be a reason why we've seen slightly aggressive, less aggressive moves rather from Blizzard. But now he's looking to go around the outside of Big C. Big C will cover the inside. Oh, he's getting squeezed, but here they go. Super Soft runners into the pits. Will they get the car slowed down? Yes, they do. So Blizzard up to P2. Game of the Best up to P3. Let's have a look at JackLacey, who's been overtaken by Littleblocks in Sector 2. JackLacey, nothing to lose. Will he go for a move down the inside? And oh my goodness, Leefindlay with an almighty lunge on JackLacey. Wow, that was slightly dubious from Leefindlay. We've seen some great overtakes from Hockenheim in particular. But yeah, he's just gone up to 6th. Yellows in Sector 2. So JackLacey down to P8. With Sambamkid right behind him. Those Super Softs look very, very gone. Abiodun continuing to stay out. He's on 11 laps on those. That will favour him. Big C and MaxiLucaGT5 looking to get the undercut. And oh, JackLacey, awful understeer out of turn 6, but gets it slowed down. And manages to stay out ahead of Sambamkid, who's up to P9. So MaxiLucaGT5 8 seconds behind Sambamkid in nice clean air. In Sector 3, oh, Leon is out of the race, so he's called it a day. Will that be a safety car? Probably not, knowing the game. And Abiodun pits because he was losing time to Blizzard, so your top two, Blizzard and Gaming the Best, the only two drivers who can win the championship, are now in the top two positions. Here comes Sambamkid. I think JackLacey is going to be pulling off the pits. Yes, he does. Lickleblocks pits as well. Only pit stop then for Lickle. CCBRAIN pits as well for the mediums, as does Lickleblocks. Quite an early stop for the soft runners, but he'll get a good undercut, I think. So who hasn't pitted so far in this race? The top five haven't pitted so far. Now let's see if we can find some battles. And MaxiLuca got a really good undercut on Abiodun. He's now right behind Abiodun, but Abiodun pitted at exactly the right time, I feel. I don't think he could have stayed out any longer. So these medium runners will be going to the end of the race. So what are Blizzard and Gamer going to do? Are they going to go a bit deeper into the race? Because they're going to be undercut a lot here. So they may be forced to pit slightly earlier. As Gaming the Best closes in on Blizzard slightly more. Now let's see if Blizzard will pit now or will he continue. Nope, it's going to carry on for the time being. Will we get some rain in this race? The clouds have been fairly consistent since the start, a bit of fog. But no sign of rain yet, but we'll keep an eye on that situation. Sambamkid right behind Ash Best gets a nice toe. Ash Best peels onto the pits, trying to cover off Lickleblocks, I would imagine. But now, let's see the battle then. Where is MaxiLuca? MaxiLuca was right behind Abiodun. Here he is. Here's the battle. For what is the net lead? Oh my goodness, MaxiLuca with a massive snap of understeer there, forcing him out wide. That's going to cost him his momentum, so he won't be able to go for a move here. Abiodun has got to try and get those mediums up to the temperature. And he still looks like he has a bit more pace than MaxiLuca when that happens. The Big C has actually ended up 2.6 seconds behind. So I don't know if he's made a mistake somewhere or he was held in the pits or something like that, but he's significantly behind. And Falcon is right behind Big C as well, so we could get a battle there. Ooh, excuse me. So Ash Best pits then for the mediums. And it looks like he's going to be in P14. Oh no, he's not being held in the pits, has he? Well, I'll look at him in a moment. Well, that would just sum up Ash Best's season if he has. He's been in the pits a long time, and I think the McLaren crew have gone on the strike. Leefindlay, Gaming the Best then pits then from P4. Now where he feeds out could be so crucial for the outcome of the race and indeed the championship. But at the moment, he is being undercut a lot. Ash Best, I think he was stuck in the pit lane. Oh dear. Well, that's the only reason I think he would have retired. Oh dear, that's not good. So Blizzard then with a 11-second advantage to Leefindlay. Neither of whom have pitted. Sambamkid also hasn't pitted. They are rapidly catching Sambamkid, who could be a bit of a blocker, perhaps for Gaming the Best. Whether that's on purpose, we shall find out shortly. For Gaming the Best, he's come out. He's going to be chasing down Falcon and Big C, but at the moment, it's not looking good for Gaming the Best, is it, to win this race? Because a lot of the drivers want similar strategies. Blizzard finally pits then. Gets the car slowed down. Now, is he going to be undercut by Gaming the Best? Has one lap been enough for Gaming the Best? He's going to get a bit of a tow from Falcon ahead. That could make all the difference. So let's have a look, because this is the battle we're focusing on, really. The Toro Rosso pit crew does a good job servicing the car. Where is Blizzard going to feed out? Abiodun and MaxiLucaGT clearly are going to get past him. Now, who else is out there? Where is Big C? Big C's going around turn 1. Has Blizzard been able to use the pace? And yes, he's actually going to come out in a net P3. So he used the in-lap, was a brilliant one from Blizzard. So he's in a net P3 on the medium compound. So absolutely brilliant work from Blizzard, and this has put him in a prime position to be the Psgl F1 champion. So we are going to be in for quite the race now, because MaxiLucaGT, Abiodun going hammer and tongs out front. Blizzard will catch up to them, and then surely the likes of Big C, Falcon, Gaming the Best will be able to catch up as well. So we could potentially get a 6-way fight for the Brazilian Grand Prix victory. You get the sense the championship is going to be settled tonight. We have 46 watching at the moment, so as ever, thank you very much for supporting the streams and Psgl F1. So let's see, MaxiLuca not quite close enough. What about Falcon? Is he close to the back of Big C? Not particularly. See if anything's actually getting closer to Blizzard than the other end. Oh, big lock up of the tyre from Blizzard. Goes really deep into turn one, but gets slowed down. Of course, penalties could play a role in this affair. They're so close. Any other battles going on out there? Well, Cherry2Pie currently in 11th place. He had to do a lap 1 pit stop. Points look very unlikely. So at the moment, Toro Rosso not doing enough to be the Constructors champions, but Blizzard is doing enough to be your drivers champion. Let's have a look at Abiodun. The battle for the lead here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Abiodun looking to get his first ever win in Psgl F1. Given MaxiLuca's penchant for getting penalties, he's probably got the right driver to be behind him, because even if he gets overtaken, he'll probably still finish ahead of him at the end of the race. But now look at this. This is interesting. They're now beginning to catch Sambamkid, one of only 2 drivers who have yet to stop. As you can see from the graphic there, and they carry on. And they're going to be catching Sambam very, very quickly. So it's going to be crucial for Abiodun to get past Sambamkid and try and put that Williams, at least for a few corners, between himself and MaxiLuca, because that could give him a real opportunity to pull out the DRS zone at last, because MaxiLuca's been a real pest. He's been in that DRS zone, putting him under all sorts of pressures ever since MaxiLuca got that undercut to get within it. But now they're going to follow Sambam through the slowest part of the track. And Blizzard's actually dropped nearly 2 seconds off MaxiLuca, so I think he might be saving some battery. Let's have a look at Blizzard briefly. Yeah, it looks like he's saving some battery at the moment through the middle sector. Falcon's picked up penalties we just saw. But this is your battle for P2. Although realistically, this is the battle for the lead, with the 2 drivers in front having not stopped yet here at Interlagos. We're at half distance now. Will we get some rain later on? Well, no sign of it yet. If anything, it's getting brighter. So all those different strategies we saw in qualifying seemed more about ensuring the one stop was as easy as possible for all the drivers. These mediums will go a long, long way. So unless they really wrench the life out of these tyres, should be. And look at this, Abiodun is going to go for a move down the inside of Sambamkid. Sambamkid's not going to fight it. So Abiodun moves up to P2. Can MaxiLuca follow through in the Haas? It's not really close enough at the moment. Look at that, Sambam. He's got DRS, so this is working out very nicely, Abiodun, because MaxiLuca's going to be stuck behind that Williams possibly until the end of the lap at least. So this is his chance. He's got to go full revs and try and break out of that DRS zone. The gaps between Blizzard and Big C stabilising. Falcon closing in on the 7-time champion, so there could be some movement there for P6 shortly. So MaxiLuca on for what would be a podium. He's got to get past this Williams soon. Now, up next, if MaxiLuca gets past, the next driver who could overtake Sambamkid is VSR Blizzard. Now, I wonder if Sambam is in communication with Gaming the Best. Will he try and hold up the Toro Rosso for Gaming the Best? That will be very interesting. So here comes MaxiLuca getting into the toe. The DRS opens, and this is going to be a comfortable overtake. As Blizzard sets the fast lap of the race. So yes, he was saving battery, and now full revs, he sets the fastest lap of the race. A 1:09 we go into. But look at that, Abiodun, 1.5 seconds. He's broken out of the DRS zone. And look at that, Blizzard may get the same treatment. He'll be stuck behind Sambam for a few more corners. And I wonder if Blizzard hasn't been that aggressive in this race, but look, oh, this looks much more aggressive. So Sambam will have the inside. Oh, this could get really tetchy. Oh, and I think there was slight contact late on the brakes, but Blizzard gets it slowed down. He didn't want to get stuck behind that. He wants to win this race. This is what it's all about. He's now passed the car out of position. So now he's got to pass 2 drivers who are fighting for the race victory here. MaxiLuca's fallen out of DRS. He's trying to desperately get back into it, because if he doesn't, he's going to be very vulnerable to the Toro Rosso behind. So Sambamkid down to P5, having started the lap in P3. But obviously he's on the alternate strategy. So not much battery left for Blizzard, so he may have to wait. He's actually running negative fuel at the moment. So he may have to do some tyre saving. So once Sambamkid then pits, then 20 laps. I'd imagine that will be the softs. So he has an outside chance of some points. But he's going to have to get a move on. So Blizzard now in P4, which would be enough for Toro Rosso to win the Constructors Championship. As Cherry2Pie retires from the session, will we get a safety car? I think Leefindlay would be absolutely delighted with that if it happens. And my goodness, that would spice up the race, wouldn't it? I would love to see one. It's been a good race so far, but that would be the icing on the cake in terms of excitement, because that would mean everyone would pit for one of the fastest compounds. So here we go then. Abiodun now closing onto the back of Leefindlay, who I would imagine surely must be pitting now. K. Brady, he left the session, so we've had 4 retirements from the 16 who started so far. Leefindlay, will he defend? Well, he thought about it, but he doesn't have the tyre life, so it's not really worth it. Abiodun goes down the inside, but meanwhile Blizzard closing in on MaxiLuca. Big lock of the tyres there. But Blizzard in Game the Best should have no tyre issues whatsoever. And to be fair, neither of the other drivers on the mediums in top 10 should either. So Blizzard then doing what he needs to do to win the championship here tonight. Because Game the Best needs to get ahead of him and outscore him by a significant margin. He's just not doing enough at the moment. He's now, Big C has dropped off the pace considerably, so Falcon and Game of the Best could be about to have a real struggle. And Falcon picks up another time penalty. He must have gone wide at turn 5 because they're not far behind. And Leefindlay now really being a bit of a block. Once again, Abiodun has enjoyed this traffic a lot. He's got it past it easily and timed it well. That MaxiLuca hasn't been able to get past the Mercedes, but I'm sure he's about to peel off into the pits. So we're going to see some overtaking action here. We'll ride on board then. As Leefindlay pits, and MaxiLuca will get a nice tow. So no, oh, what on earth was that? Leefindlay changed his mind at the last second. Well, that was highly dangerous from Leefindlay. I don't know what he was thinking about there. That was a strange moment. Meanwhile, behind, Big C under enormous pressure. And Falcon not able to get the moves on. Straight to Blizzard we shall go. Can Blizzard get down the inside of MaxiLuca? No, he's not going to go for a dive there. Straight back to Falcon. Oh, MaxiLuca ran wide. We're going to go straight back to Blizzard. Can Blizzard repeat the move he did on Sambamkid? No, he's not going to have the tyre advantage this time to do that. And AMS retires from the session, which means the Constructors Championship, if it finishes like this, will be going to Toro Rosso guaranteed. They just needed to score 7 points to win it, and Blizzard has 10. So more than enough for Toro Rosso to be the Constructors Champions of Psgl F1 Season 21. There's a ghost car ahead, that's KB Brady, so Abiodun might get DRS off that. Oh, and Blizzard drifting wide. He doesn't want to lose it now. MaxiLuca drifting wide as well. And that is Leefindlay doing something there. So Blizzard moving up then into second place, and now he's going to try and chase down the race leaders. These are taking a very wide line out of the center S's. Oof, goes on the grass for a moment as well. Let's have a look at Falcon. Can Falcon get past Big C? Not at the moment. So Blizzard, not only does he want to... Oh, JackLacey retires from the race. So only 10 will be finishing this race at the moment. And clearly that was not a crash because he's changed tyres. So the main battle is for the lead and for P4. Game of the Best must be so frustrated. He's just not able to get in front of Falcon because Falcon can't get ahead of Big C. Doesn't have the straight line speed. Yellow's in sector 1. I think that'll be JackLacey's car retiring, I'd imagine. So Abiodun 1.5 ahead. He's doing a great job, Abiodun. He's looking good for his first victory, but Blizzard will be pushing as hard as he possibly can. So Falcon right behind Big C again, but again he can't get past the McLaren. And MaxiLuca still in touch with Blizzard. Let's have a look at those two quickly. Well, look at the overspeed MaxiLuca had out of turn 5. Will he think about a dive to the inside here? Blizzard will have to think about covering him. No, he's not going to be close enough there, surely. Falcon again. Unable to follow Big C closely, so it's a bit of a stalemate here at the moment. And Blizzard having to half defend almost, has now dropped nearly 2 seconds behind Abiodun. It has been an absolutely sensational evening for Abiodun so far. He's done everything absolutely perfectly. And some team radio from Sebastian AMS, not happy with some of the driving on track. All yellows in sector 3. What's happened there? Has Falcon lost it somewhere? Yes, he has. Falcon has lost it out of Yunkao. Well, slightly after, so Game of the Best now up to 5th. Oh, is this over yet? Oh, I don't think he's got enough laps to catch up. And oh, I think he's going to retire on track, or at least try to, rather pathetically. So Game of the Best then, fighting a familiar foe. Falcon retires from the race. So we only have 9 finishes as it stands. So it's been a real attritional race, much more than I expected it to be, or anyone expected it to be. So 11 laps to go, including the one we're on now. Blizzard, 1.6 seconds behind. So you're top 9. Yes, I said that, top 9. Abiodun, Blizzard, MaxiLuca, Big C, Game of the Best, CCBRAIN, Lickle Blocks, Sambamkid, and Leefindlay. And speaking of Leefindlay, he's closing the gap on what is a battle for P8, would you believe? Because given how their strategies would have played out, if everyone was still running, they'd probably be somewhere like P13 or 14. So here comes Game of the Best. Will his old rival Big C defend it hard? Let's see. Not sure he's going to be close enough to make the move. He's going to wait for the center S's. Yeah. Well, I don't think it looked like he was trying to cash it out on purpose, to be fair, Gillo. I think it was pretty obvious. A frustrated man behind the seat of that Renault. So Game of the Best unable to get past at the moment. Going to just stick with this for a few more corners. I just want to see, because MaxiLuca is still doing a good job of staying in touch with Blizzard as we enter the closing laps of the race. So Abiodun, as long as he doesn't get a penalty, I think he's got this win. But Blizzard is well on the way to being the Psgl F1 champion. So here we go then. If anything happens to Game of the Best now, it really is over. Let's have a quick look at MaxiLuca. Is he close to? No, not really. So here we go then. I think Game of the Best is a bit closer this time. He's got so much battery. He's only got it in mode 3, so that's clearly an indication he's setting up a move for the end of Sector 1. Big C locks the left front. Game of the Best. Oh, it's not a great exit at center S, so that gives Big C half a chance to scamper away. And Game of the Best once again will be frustrated. I wonder if he'll look back on that qualifying session where, had he gone on to the Super Softs and gone aggressive, then clearly he could have been at least fighting the race win here. Blizzard's strategy of basically covering off Game of the Best has worked a treat so far. Leefindlay still closing in on Sambamkid. Be one of Sambamkid's best results if he finishes in P8. Might even be his best result of the season, in fact. We'll check that in a bit. So then through Yunkao they go. Lap 28. This race is absolutely flown by. It is a very short track, of course. Yeah, Sambamkid actually picks up a P6 back at China. And here comes Game of the Best. They're going to, in a tight defense by Big C, but can Game of the Best go around the outside? Oh, he had to back off, otherwise he would have flown on the circuit. He's trying to get the switch back on Game of the Best. And he does. He gets the switch back. Big C going very wide out of the center S's, and Game of the Best, I think, will out-drag Big C down to the end of Sector 1, and he will take 4th position, but it isn't good enough for the former F2 champion. He runs really wide out of turn 4. Big C. Let's go back to Sambamkid. Sambamkid trying to come back at Leefindlay. This could be a tasty battle to end the race on. Both wide they go. So Leefindlay moving up to P8. So what else is going on? Game of the best. Because of that time behind Big C's now 5 seconds behind MaxiLucaGT. So unless there's penalties, well, unless Blizzard, unless something incredible happens, Game of the best, I don't think is going to be getting a championship. He's going to be missing out in heartbreaking fashion once again. But it was that middle part of the season where he just seemed to lose all his consistency. That's what really cost him, because Singapore was proof that on his day he can be a match for anybody in this particular league. As JackLacey leaves the session. Lap 30 then of this Psgl F1 Brazilian Grand Prix, the penultimate round of the season here at Interlagos. There's Big C coming back at Game of the Best. He is, in fact. There's a lot of speed there, although Game of the Best is a lot more battery. So we'll go back to Sambamkid. Can Sambamkid close in on Leefindlay? He seems to have a bit more straight line speed actually. The gap between the top two now 1.5. Abiodun cannot rest on his laurels, because he knows if one penalty, he gets one, then he's going to throw away a race victory, which frankly he would thoroughly deserve if he gets it, because he's been outstanding tonight. I do hope that wasn't the kiss of death. Now, these two are actually slightly closing the gap because they're on the soft compound to Liquor Box ahead, who's sort of in no man's land, not really fighting anybody. Let's have a look at Big C as they head out from Junkow to start another lap. Lap 31 now. The countdown to Blizzard becoming the champion has begun. As Big C gets the car slowed down for the first corner. Through the centre rest as we go. Big C, a former multiple race winner here at Brazil. It's not going to be that today for him. Big C's got really good straight line speed, has throughout the race actually. Has enabled him to keep ahead of drivers who have better grip in Sector 2 and the beginning of 3. Hasn't quite had the overall package to challenge for the podium, despite his great qualifying where he was on the front row. So heading through the middle sector. Big C will fancy giving game up. These two have so many Psgl F1 wins between them. Now Blizzard, as the laps close down, is beginning to push a bit. It's now just outside of DRS range. Abiodun still keeping consistency in his performance. Blizzard has a slight tyre advantage at this point. MaxiLucaGT has done the most laps of any of the medium runners still in this race. So we will keep an eye on the battle for the top two. This is your closest battle on the track at the moment. Big C getting a good exit out of the centre rest. It's very difficult to follow a car through there, isn't it? Really unbalances the car. Here comes Big C. Is he close enough for a lunge? No, he's not. It's 1.2 now between the top two. So the battle for the lead not quite over just yet. Let's have a quick look at MaxiLucaGT. MaxiLucaGT on the back of Blizzard still. But Blizzard seems to have better traction. Does have better tyres, of course. Now Blizzard can't relax though. He's in a fight here. But he knows that realistically the title is his. Even if he crashes now. So Blizzard just outside DRS range. He's edging ever so closer to Abiodun. How heartbreaking would it be for Abiodun if he were to lose weight? Well, Abiodun's going to get DRS with that ghost car, I believe, so that's going to help him. Well, MaxiLucaGT picks up a 3-second time penalty, and there it is. He hasn't got a prayer of winning this race now, unless the other two suddenly get tons of penalties. MaxiLucaGT once again showing really good pace, as he did at Singapore. You know, the second half of the season, I think he's been one of the best drivers, if anything. He's just had some bad luck along the way. You know, this is a far cry from his disastrous seasons in F1 2017, where he left the league for a while. And now just under 4 laps to go here at Interlagos. It hasn't been a classic, but we could get a grandstand finish here, because Blizzard is now in DRS range of Abiodun. Those medium tyres will be starting to go off, and Blizzard can use the extra tyre life to good effect. Blizzard going really full attack on the battery. Wasting battery there, not sure that's the smartest strategy. Here comes Blizzard then, looking to seal the title here with a race victory. Now if Blizzard were to crash and Game of the Best finishes on the podium, that would be enough to take the title battle to Abu Dhabi, because Game of the Best is 22 points behind currently. So Blizzard now half a second, and I think Abiodun's tyres are starting to scream a little bit. But Abiodun is, he's got nothing to lose, absolutely nothing to lose at this point. He's got to fight. He's got to fight for this win. He's got just under 3 laps to go. It's going to be a thrilling finish here at Interlagos, as they go through Juncal for the 34th time, and they will only go through it 2 more times before we end this race. As the crowd rises to its feet, those amazing grandstands, the atmosphere in real life must be incredible in those packed grandstands. Such an old school feel to this anti-clockwise track here in Brazil. So what will Blizzard do? Will he settle for second just to seal the title? This Game of the Best, he will not get on the podium unless something happens dramatically to these 3. If anything were to happen to these 3, if they were all to suddenly have incidents, it would be one of the biggest shocks I've seen. Poor traction out of turn 5. Here comes Blizzard. What do you think about a late move to the inside? There's no room in top level competitive sport for niceties. Blizzard will want to win this race to seal the championship. And look at the traction he's got. 3 lap younger tyres, and it's making such a big difference right now. Abiodun running a mile off the track. He's got to get good traction out at Juncal to give him half a chance, because this will be Blizzard realistically one of his final chances. Will Blizzard go full attack now to try and take the move? Here comes Blizzard, the reigning champion in waiting. It's going to be a thrilling conclusion here. They dice and spice through the opening corners they go. How deep does Abiodun go? But he covers it off. But Blizzard will get much better traction out of the centre S's. Abiodun has got to stay disciplined and cover the inside to make it as difficult for Blizzard as possible. He's going to out drag him through the straight. That's a terrible camera angle. Oh my goodness, I've not had good ones. And look how late Abiodun goes. Abiodun covers the inside. He'll have the inside for 5 and 6. Blizzard will try and go late on the brakes round the outside. Now Abiodun's got to cover the inside for the next corner as well. Here comes Blizzard to the inside. No, not close enough. Sensational defending from Abiodun on those wrecked medium compound tyres. But this is the next opportunity. Abiodun's got to cover the inside here. No, Blizzard's not close enough. Oh, he goes really deep. MaxiLuca will try and get through. What a final lap this has been. Abiodun looking good here as he goes through Juncal. Just needs to get the traction right. And look at that. Behind MaxiLuca and Blizzard battling. Surely not. There's not going to be some sort of incident here. Abiodun will cross the line. Oh, there's contact. Oh, there's big contact. And Blizzard will cross the line. And he will win the Psgl F1 Championship. In utterly dramatic scenes, he nearly came an inch from DNFing and losing the chance to win here. But Blizzard, a half-broken Toro Rosso, has done it. MaxiLuca will finish 5th, I believe. And look at that, Blizzard punches the air in delight. He has done it. He is your Psgl F1 champion. And Abiodun, did he win? Oh, I don't know. Abiodun, I think, didn't have any penalties. Yes, Abiodun is definitely your race winner for the first time, Psgl F1. Well, goodness me, what was that? What was that about between Maxi? And that means Game of the Best actually finished on the podium in the end, but it wasn't enough for him to deny Blizzard, the 5th different champion from 5 seasons of Psgl F1. It just shows how competitive it is. No one has dominated it for a long time in terms of multiple championships. Big C, the last driver to win multiple championships here, Psgl F1. Well, that was a dramatic finish. If Blizzard had DNF there, that would have been perhaps one of the most controversial moments we've ever seen. Abiodun then taking a magnificent victory here at Interlagos. Fully deserved. Pole position, Absolutely brilliant performance. Blizzard in second, your new Psgl F1 champion. Gaming the best, fought as hard as he possibly could and gets a podium, but not quite good enough to take the fight to Abu Dhabi. Big C in fourth. MaxiLuca, he'll be disappointed. Should really have been on the podium, but really fell apart in the closing parts of the race. P5, CCBRAIN in solid sixth. Leefindlay in seventh. Sambamkid in eighth. And Littleblocks, your final finisher in P9. A lot of retirements today, including KB Killer, Falcon, JackLacey, AMS, Cherry2Pie, Ash Bess, and Leon. So Blizzard, big congratulations to him. And of course, Blizzard's P2 means, even if there is a Stewart's and Gray or whatever, that Toro Rosso are also your Constructors champions in Psgl F1. They were runners-up last season, but this time they are the champions. So then, just going to bring this up. So yeah, a very dramatic end to that race, wasn't it? It really came alive in the last few laps. But Abiodun, I think you're great, a very well-deserved winner. Right, well, I did say there was a little something extra after the race, and it's a bit of an announcement. So next week is the final round of the season at Marina for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which will be a bit of an exhibition, hopefully a great race. We've seen some brilliant races there in the past. But it will be my last race as Psgl F1 commentator. After 4 glorious seasons here, I have decided to step aside and allow some new blood the opportunity to shine at the top of Psgl commentary, as I was given the chance 4 seasons ago. Some great memories, absolutely brilliant. I can only thank all the admins and everyone who has supported me. I'm still going to be doing Psgl commentaries from time to time. Classic races, and I'm interested very much so in doing a Race of Champions down the line as well. But I just feel at this point that I've done everything I can in Psgl F1 and I really don't want to hog the spotlight. And I believe that the next commentating team, you know, will do just as well as raising this league to ever greater heights. So, you know, that may not please some of you, but it is a decision which I believe is the right one for the good of the league. And, you know, it's no real reason. It's not, I haven't fallen out of anybody or anything like that. On the contrary, the admin team have always given me great respect from start to finish. But you can still see me commentating in other leagues, especially AOR, which I will become more deeply involved in. But without Psgl, none of that would ever have been possible. So I'll always be thankful for that. But there is still one more race to go, and we will try and make next week my biggest broadcast to date on Psgl F1 to go out with a bang. But tonight, it's not about me. It's about the new champion in Psgl F1, and that is VSR Blizzard, who has been the class of the field this season. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.